So you have to rely on more than one person in order to keep your business model sustainable.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. Today is the day you're going to get better. Why? Because it's impact time, baby. And I'm a little fired up today. Yeah, I'm spitting fire. So right now, if you're out for a walk, you're walking the pup, or you're out for a jog, you're out for a run, buckle up, my friends, because we about to get better. As a matter of fact, I got my man, Coach Frank Pucher, in the house. Frank, what's happening?
Todd, great afternoon. Great to be here.
And I got my right-hand man, Larry Indiviglia, is here in the sanctuary of Fitness Quest 10. Larry, how are you today?
Todd, always ready to do an and some while I'm live in the sanctuary.
Oh, you better believe it. At the sanctuary, this is where magic happens on a daily basis. And let me tell you what, for just a moment, I want to spit some fire. Why? Because I'm on fire right now, because the more trainers and coaches and life transformers I talk about worldwide, all over the place, you're on a roller coaster. You're up and you're down. We're all over the place. And some people are living in fear, and some people are angry. Some people are frustrated. But the one thing today that we do not want to be today is we don't want to be stuck. As a matter of fact, for the next 20 minutes or so, I want you to get into growth mode. I want you to put your hat on. And I don't care if you're a coach, you're a trainer, you're a police officer, you're a physician, you're an attorney. It doesn't matter what you are. You're a mom, your dad, your grandma, grandpa. You're a kid whose season just got canceled. No, my friends. Today we get better. Today is the day we stand up and say, you know what? I'm going to take it on top of me. I'm going to open my heart. I'm going to open my head, and we're going to get better. I'm going to train today. I'm going to eat right today. I'm going to get my mind right today. I'm going to listen to Coach Frank and Coach Larry. I'm going to listen to TD, what they have to say, and we're going to get better. We're going to smile more today. We're going to come from empathy and compassion today. We're going to come with more love today. Why? Because we can. Because we can choose today to be a better version of ourselves today. That's all that matters. Don't let too much of yesterday take up today. Let me repeat. Don't let too much of yesterday take up today. There's too much stuff going on. People watching too much TV, listening to too much riffraff, and there's not the mind right. My friends, I'm going to get off my soapbox now because I'll go all day. I'll spit and fire for 30 minutes. And I got two special guests now. Matter of fact, these two people are two of the closest comrades and colleagues I have in my life. And I just needed to spit some fire today, boys. So thank you for listening.
Todd, we're all ears.
I'll tell you, it's always exciting when the three of us get together, and
You can see their faces right now. They look scared.
I'm not sure what's about to happen, but I know something's about to happen.
They look a little scared. I'm a little fired up today, fellas, and I got my workout in. I have a little jungle juice. I'm fired up, and I want to talk about growth. I want to talk about growth today. Why? It's because you think about moving forward. I think a lot of people right now are stuck and they're in fear mode, and they don't know there's tomorrow. By the time you listen to this, whatever I say today, it might be different tomorrow, next week.
Everything changes.
But I know this. I know what we're going to drop today. There's going to be some value and wisdom for anyone who wants to get better. Why? Because I'm a believer. I'm convicted that we must continue to move forward. Mm-hmm. We must get up and get vertical every darn morning, and you must commit to getting better and moving forward. And how does it happen? Through your commitment to getting growth into your life. So let's talk about that today. And I want to talk about 3 ways to grow your business. And Larry, I don't know what you're going to say, but you always have wisdom that comes out of your mouth. And man, Larry, it's been what? How much? 23 years?
23 years, T. 1997. And we met at the La Mirage gym.
That's right.
You know, you brought in that big blue bag.
Amsterdam Admirals. That was my equipment bag, if you don't know. I had all my football equipment in there, traveled back and forth from Amsterdam to New Jersey.
There you go. And it came out here.
It was my goodie bag. It was my magic bag.
And you would pull stuff out of that bag, and you would be out on the tennis courts. You'd be in the aerobic room. Todd boycotted the gym, the fixed equipment.
It's outdoor training. Isn't that what it's all about these days?
You know what? You were ahead of your time.
Yeah, it was 1997. It was like outdoor training. We don't need indoor fancy gyms.
He was.
Give me a parking lot. Give me a bag, and let me start pulling cones, ladders, some bungee cords, and let's get better.
He did. He was ahead of his time in those days. He did not use the leg press.
Although
they had a pec deck, so you might have used it personally, but not with your clients.
I would use that right now if I had one. The pec deck. Can I get an amen? Anyone out there? Like the old school pec deck. You know, you get Peter and Paul getting them flexing a little bit.
That's the jersey coming out. Pec deck, preacher benches.
It was a great gym because it was like a huge complex. In fact, Barry White's son lived there. Barry White's son
did not know that. Trivia. See, Larry's going to start spitting trivia. And then all the way up to Optimum Performance Bodywork, and then the Mastermind. You were original Mastermind member.
You know, it's been a great road. You know, I spent 12 years as a remote trainer. I spent 10 years in a gym environment, small studio. And then I've been 12 years coaching with you in the mastermind. You know, and you go back to the OPB, like there was 5 of us in the room.
That's optimal performance bodywork.
Yeah.
If you don't know that, that's a type of bodywork 2002 I created after massage therapy school, after I learned Rolfing and structural integration and energy work, and Larry was one of the first 5 people in that room. By the way, 3 of them were employees, and Larry was one of the 2
myself.
actually paying customers at the time. So I had 2 people, a whopping 2 paying customers for my first workshop ever. So thank you.
Yeah, that was good. And then there was one key one, because one of the other guys in there was Ladanian's a massage therapist.
That's
that
how
led to other things.
See that? See, now we're going back and talking history. That's how I first started working with LT. Not only was I the sports massage therapist down at the Chargers, but he was working with Ladanian, and Ladanian came in here to start training because of him.
Correct. See, so sometimes you have 5 guests, but it also takes as one, and it leads to another one.
The power of one.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing is when you started the mastermind in 2007, God, it's almost 13 years now. So that there was 12 of us that started with you, and we proved the concept that it works, that a group of people, like-minded, kindred spirits, passionate, fire-breathing dragons, I guess, in the day, can make a difference if you surround yourself with some quality folks.
Well, that's the name of the game right now. There's nothing more important than who you surround yourself with. You talk about leaning in right now. Even the folks that we have the opportunity to work with every single day who are in our mastermind group right now. You talk about leaning in and taking wisdom from each other. Not only certainly is the 3 of us leading, but we have the 5 platinum coaches. We've got a couple hundred trainers who right now, I believe this is the time that the best trainers in the world are going to step up and make a difference and create the impact, because those who are most nimble, those who can pivot, those who can actually create value for their clients and members right now, man, the world needs more fitness right now. Building strength, immunity, mindset. Kids need fitness right now. It doesn't have to be defined by 4 walls. Nope. It doesn't have to be defined by this beautiful space I'm looking at right here as I record this podcast episode. We could be out in the darn parking lot back in 1997, back on the tennis courts again, Larry. Yep. We can change lives, and if you're a coach trainer, you know what I'm talking about. So there's no way that there's going to be a mandate that says you can't do this, you can't change lives. No, I'll train Zoom, Facebook Live, parking lot, park. Let's find a way to get the job done. If the mission's big enough, it's mission critical. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely, Tina. And I think one of the things I believe is that after this challenging time now with the pandemic, and at some point, somewhere, somehow, there are going to be more people now wanting to work out, because now they know the importance of boosting their immune system and actually staying healthy so that they don't get sick. And I do think that same 22% that sometimes we talk about, that the studios, gyms across the nation, we're all chasing the same 22% of the people. I think 22% is going to be like 30% or 32%, because more people are going to want to come to work out and get healthier.
Well, you're using the word want. I'm going to say need.
Yeah.
I'm going to say need.
Yeah.
I'm talking mental health.
Yeah.
I'm talking like pure. We talk about health. I'm talking not just physical. I'm talking need to. I hope that 30% becomes like, well, I hope it becomes 100%, but it's like 40, 50% of the people, the need. Kids are going to need to work out. If there's virtual training, virtual school, which I'm hearing there are, man, kids, we got to make sure we get these kids moving. Parents, can I get an amen? Can I get an hour away to go get some mental sanity, please, on this stuff? So it's going to be a need.
One of the things, just to bring it back to Larry's point from a moment ago, one of the unique things that's occurred, I think, during the pandemic time is it actually gave people, maybe not conveniently, it gave people the time and the opportunity to start investing in themselves. As somebody who's been around the fitness game a long time myself, I don't have time is a number one excuse for most people. With people now having no commute, more people telecommuting, some people maybe not working, again, not convenient, but it does create an opportunity for people to start to make those investments in themselves. And I think that once you begin that habit, to your point, Larry, I think more people will continue doing something that is essential for themselves, and that is engaging in fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let me just share a little point here to give you perspective wherever you are. Just minutes before this episode started, I got word that all indoor training in the state of California is now closed. I said, and I had some folks out front start to freak out. They got all worried. I'm like, take a breath, relax. All good leaders, relax. Let's get all the information because we have a lot of outdoor space that we can use. We're gonna record a great episode right now. We're gonna record a great episode for you, and we're not gonna react to everything. Are you leading or are you reacting? If you react, you're gonna go crazy. That's why I started with the roller coaster analogy. You don't want to be on the roller coaster of just reading everyone's emotions. Otherwise, you will go cray cray. I call it cray cray. You'll go batty. All right, we don't want that. Take a breath. Relax. Matter of fact, everyone, take a deep breath in. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good? So let's buckle up and let's just use these next 10, 15 minutes right now to think about where you're at, what your vision is, and how can you grow? How can you grow right now? Whether you're training inside, you're training outside, you're training in a park, you're training in a parking lot, you're training on a mountain, you're training in the church, you're training in a firehouse, you're training in a gym, a studio. Let's not be dictated by the physical space where you're at, because maybe you're on a computer training on Zoom. Maybe you're a client or member right now at Fitness Quest 10 or any of these great other studios worldwide who are offering such amazing opportunities right now. You may have to pivot. You may have to get outside your comfort zone because you don't, quote, like technology. You're going to learn to pivot because you have to, so do it. Take a deep breath, relax. You'll figure it out. Ask someone that's younger than you. You'll figure it out. And let's enjoy all of the opportunities that are being created right now as well. So without further ado, Larry, I want you to kick us off. 3 ways to grow your business right now. I want you to think about what can we do as coaches, trainers, if you're a fitness entrepreneur or you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur in any other industry, by the way. It could be anyone who's looking to grow right now. Let's start with number 1.
Yeah, T. Number 1 is this. And actually, in 12 years of coaching with the Mastermind, we typically go through a mid-year review. We're at halftime. We're at halftime July 1st. We're at halftime. We take a look at what has gone down, what we've done the past 6 months, but then in looking forward. And so this is something that we always do every year, especially this year now with so much change and unrest. And it's to take a look at really the marketing approach or the mix just a little differently. So typically you would look at your marketing and be like, okay, I have a product or a service. Well, if you take a look at a product or service, why don't you look at it now as a solution? Now it's a solution. Okay, so your product or service now, think of it as a solution that you're going to be actually, thinking about, or you're going to have an appreciation for your customers and your clients' pain, their problems, and their predicament. Especially now. Predicament's a big word, right? Because we're all in a similar predicament. But so think of what your product or service is as far as a solution. How are you going to solve some of that stuff?
Okay.
Secondly, you say, well, what do I price my product or service? What's the price? And you say this, and we've been saying it. In fact, you mentioned it 2 or 3 times. Value. How are you going to up the value? What is the value of your solution? Okay. Rather than the price of your product, what is the value of your solution? Think about it that way. Third thing, traditional P is promotion. Promote your product, promote your product, promote your product. Think now education. When you educate, you're promoting. When you educate, you're promoting. So some people may not know certain things about nutrition, about fitness, about conditioning. So when you educate your clientele or your prospective clients about those particular things, you're actually promoting your business through education. And I think all of us as coaches and trainers, we're teachers, okay? So educating should be one of those things in our DNA, okay? And some of us better than others, and if you're not, there's ways to get better at doing that. How? Lead workshops, right? Do stuff online. Do things that force you to get out of your comfort zone so you get yourself in a teaching environment, and also teaching your staff or your team. Finally, and this is a real big one right now, I think this is the biggest, is place. If you had a product, it's like, okay, where's my place? Where do I deliver it? Frank owned Fitness 101 for many years. He delivered it at Fitness 101 in Roseland, New Jersey, 5,000 square feet.
Top training studio in New Jersey?
It was, for many years.
Was.
Okay.
Sold.
Well, it was, okay. But in any case, that was his place of business. Fitness Quest 10 here, your place of business. But, the thing is now, think of place, think of accessibility. Accessibility instead of place. Because now, a single place of business may not be enough as far as where we are with the pandemic. So I think you're going to review each one, and how you view that, guys, is that you can, it actually frames it a little bit differently.
Okay.
Two points just to kind of go a little deeper on what Larry was talking about. I like that you focused, Larry, on providing and being the solution. And the important thing is, regardless of the vehicle to provide that solution, always meeting the client where they're at. And we're in an ever-changing world with regard to how we deliver that solution. Again, whether that's outside space, whether that's the virtual world, who knows what's coming next. So making sure that you're adapting to the times, adjusting to the times, meeting the client where they're at to provide that solution. But I really like that you focused on the education component. And there's really two great ways that I think we could always do better at with regard to educating our clients. And obviously that's a form of promoting the business. One-to-one. So making sure that I speak about this all the time. Make sure you're speaking to the people in your business. You're connecting with your client, sharing your vision, sharing your mission on a daily basis. That's a great way to educate people. And the other thing is social media. We've talked about this many times. That's your opportunity every day, one to many, to share your vision, share your mission, and educate people with regard to the solution that your business provides.
Yeah. It's cool. We talk about marketing. You talk about those 4 points. And Frank, you just said solution, education. The word that pops out to me is value. I love the word value because right now, with such unpredictable times in an environment that we cannot control, value, it's the question I keep asking myself: how do I offer the most amazing value to, number one, retain our current clients and members? That number one, we've got to retain them, because whatever your membership is at your student gym, and thank you, God bless all of you who are holding on to your memberships, because there's a value to that. Many times as a consumer, you or me, we look at price. Well, instead of looking at price, look at ROI. What's the ROI for your actual investment, whether it be $50 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever it may be? What's the ROI? Because right now, when you get tight with everything because of the times, you may be playing a little scared, you tend to tighten up. What I would say is, what's the value that you get out of a certain service, regardless of what that service is? What's the value? When it comes to training, you can't always even put a price tag to that, whether you're receiving that in the place of a Zoom, a Facebook Live, actual coaching session, one-on-one, large group, whatever that is. The value right now of your own health is absolutely priceless. It's absolutely priceless. Because why? Because if you don't have your health, you have nothing. I've always said this: he or she who has their health has 1,000 dreams. He or she who does not has one: your health. Right now, if there's one thing to invest in, it's your health. Trainers, coaches, consumers, clients, members, if there's one thing right now that we must invest in, it's ourselves. It's ourselves in every aspect: physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. What can we do? But we know that our health, our immunity must be boosted at all costs. We must put ourselves around other fire-breathing dragon, other energetic beings like you two that are going to lift our souls and spirits up. So to me, value is a huge, huge thing right now.
You just touched on it. I love the word you used: investment. Your fitness, your nutrition, your mindset, these are investments that you should expect an ROI from. Don't look at whether that's your gym membership, your personal trainer, what you're spending on necessary supplements, good food, good water, good sleep.
Truth.
These are all things. These are all things. These are investments, not expenses. An expense you get nothing for. An investment pays a dividend long term. And what's the long-term dividend of investing in your health? Priceless.
Energy, clarity, mindset are all investments that are hard to measure, right? Because they're the most important assets you have. But when you have clarity of mind, when you have focus, when you have peace of mind, when you have energy, you feel good. When you don't have it, now all of a sudden you want it, right? So it's a really important aspect. One more point, Larry, and then we'll go to number 2.
Yeah, the point is on accessibility. I think this is a key thing right now, and you both suggested a couple of things. Is, okay, where do you deliver your product/service or your solution, right? Where do you do it? Well, it can be live in the gym. It can be Zoom classes that you're streaming. I think it could be on demand, right? We have a lot of people. A lot of these things I'm listing off here, guys, and going through. This is stuff that's going out on the field through many of the fire-breathing dragons and mastermind people that own gyms out across the country, actually across the world.
Around the world.
What they're doing. Actually, some of them are upgrading their space to a larger space, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because, one, it may help for the COVID situation in some cases. We could talk about that. But they are actually going out, grand opening gyms, and having a larger platform or physical plant that gives them more flexibility to deliver their solution. I think the other thing that's interesting in this area of challenge is going to be some people that are losing their business.
Yep.
I have people looking at adjacent spaces. Spin Studio next door went out of business. I have a gal up in Toronto that's going to take over that space to expand her studio. So you have to look at the channels and how you could deliver, because now the frame of mind of your clientele, they've been devoid of their faith and their freedom and their food and their fun and their football. I mean, this is stuff
the
that's
five Fs.
no, it's stuff that they can't do now. So their frame of mind, but it doesn't mean get caught up in that. But what channels could we now offer them so that we can deliver, and then they have an outlet?
So that's all under marketing. So think about that. That is marketing, but that's giving value. So that's number one. Number two, what do we got? Number 2 out of 3.
Okay, number 2 is email. And people are going to, what, we're going to have an email seminar here? No, not necessarily, but think about it.
Talk about email. I still like email.
Email is
You've got mail.
Is inexpensive.
It is.
It is in your face, okay, because when it shows up, okay, and it's personable if you do it right, okay. So leverage. Let me put it this way: people go, well, if you have a big list, well, having a big list is great, but you'd have to know how to leverage it. So one of the things we have found, and a lot of my team are doing this, is really to take a 3-prong approach. And maybe and then some would make it number 4, is go out with an email that concentrates on attitude or awareness. Meaning, and Frank, you actually mentioned it I think on your segment, as far as showing you care, showing that you are aware of their mindset, or maybe their stinking thinking and where they are as far as living in fear, but you're aware of that. Okay, I feel what you guys are feeling. I felt it sometimes myself, but you know what? I found a way to move ahead and to overcome the storm. I read Get Your Mind Right.
I like that. I like that.
I know, but seriously. So you're going to go out with an email, and your subject line has to be personable, like you're writing to a friend. Okay, can't be too salesy. And you're going to go in there and say, "Hey, I understand your predicament and your pain, and you know what, guys? I understand it." And you want to show them that you like them, so then they could like you. And then also you could say, this is what I found to work a little bit. This is how I'm doing it. And then maybe they'll emulate what you're doing. Or you get connected. Okay, the second email, and it could be a week later, 5 days later, could be an announcement. And you kind of announce, like, maybe you're coming out with a new challenge. Maybe you're coming out with a new on-demand program. Maybe you're coming out with something that is going to be a different channel to deliver your solution during the pandemic, or just at any time. So you announce it. You don't give them a lot of detail. You don't tell them to take action. You announce it, okay? And like, for instance, you could have a subject line. This is going to help both of us. Somebody goes, this is going to help both of us. Use the word this. They get curious. They want to read the email. So an announcement of some sort. Okay, followed up, of course, right? Action. Then you have an action email, and you tell somebody what you want them to do, okay? And I think if you do that, you want to offer something as an incentive. Maybe it's a free month. Maybe it's something that's going to, kind of put a little extra bait, out in front of them that they're going to want to get involved with. So to have them take action so that they can invest. And then finally, and then some is affiliation. You follow up and say, hey, 20 people entered this program, and here's a couple of testimonials, or here's some of what you guys are doing, and here's some of the feedback I'm getting. Your Get Yoke program, very, very similar now to this approach.
Absolutely.
There was an attention and awareness about kids needing a workout program. All the gyms were closed.
Believe it.
Right? You announced, hey, I'm working on something.
Get Yoke too.
You didn't say enroll. You said, I'm working on something.
Yeah.
Right? 3, at some point, take action. Here it is. Right? And then, hey, getting great feedback. Here's 2, 3, or 4 emails or text or Twitters, right? Or tweets that that are telling me I'm really enjoying it. So if you walk it down that process, guys, it becomes very, very effective. You stay engaged. And the thing is, when you think about your list, it's not the number of eyeballs that are looking at it, but it's the frame of mind of those eyeballs. And you got to make sure that you engage and get into that. Anyway, that was 2.
I agree with everything Larry shared. What I would preface it all with is you have to have a strong relationship or have delivered value and content in advance of that in order for those emails to really be effective.
Correct.
If somebody who has never reached out to you before just all of a sudden sends a, hey, stay tuned, you might unsubscribe before you get to those next couple of emails.
Yeah.
And nobody, what's the old cliche? Like, nobody wants to be sold, but everybody loves to buy.
Yeah.
If you have delivered, whether it's social media, previous correspondence, previous products, if you've delivered for somebody in the past and they recognize you as somebody who delivers value to them, then when you lead in with an email that's just going to take them to a solution and an action, I think you get the best ROI from that. But you have to have that relationship or have delivered value. That can't be understated. You have to have that beforehand.
Yeah, I think when you say email, sometimes you lose people because you're like, oh, email is boring. But one thing with email, if there are any parents that are listening in right now, you have your kids play sports and the coach emails you, you typically read those within minutes.
Correct.
When the coach emails you, you read those within minutes. But if you're getting telemarketed or you're getting email marketed, you turn those out. It used to be a 1-to-7 ratio for every 7 emails you could, quote, sell something. Now it's like 1-to-30. You don't want to be selling through email. As Frank alluded, you want to be building a relationship through email. Let me just give you my little TDism about how my email philosophy. We get two emails out per week, typically Mondays and Thursdays, and sometimes there's an and then some like the TD Times. If you don't get them now, please subscribe. ToddDurkin.com, sign up, and you'll get great value-laden emails. It's about the consistency. So you don't want to just drop an email every now and then. You want to be consistent. So I shoot for twice a week to my list, and I have a list of Fitness Quest 10, and I've got a list to our overall consumers and trainer list as well. We get about a 20% open rate for our emails. That's pretty darn good for an email open list. Now, let me just let you in on a little bit. We're going to get a little masterminding here, my friends. The key, though, is I'm not content with the 20% open rate. I want about 30 to 35%. So what I do, and the subject line is very important.
Yep.
The subject line is very
critical.
important. So a day or two later, to all the non-opens, we'll send the same email out with a different subject line, and we'll get another 10 to 12 to 15% open rates on the exact same email. I didn't rewrite it, just a different subject line on that. So now we're up to a 35% open rate on that. So that's a good read. How do you hook people? Personal stories. Every time I have my dog jersey in there or my kids, you guys are all streaming back with all the, I love it.
Yeah, they can relate to you.
Personal stories about your family, about you, about something you're struggling with, and being real. Like for me, my emails, I write from the heart, and I've got my peak times when I write emails, and it's like, man, you don't have a perfect time. Sit down and write, get some butt glue, and have personal stories. Keep it short, and then another key, tune in, take your emails, and then blog your email. Get a blog. Go to WordPress, get a blog. Wait a minute, you blog your email? Yes, because then what you do is you take that blog and you put it into your Facebook, because 80% of your clients, unless you're working with all kids, are probably on Facebook. So you took the same email you wrote and you blogged it now, and then guess what? Go one step further. You're probably, most of you, if you have not learned how to text your clients yet with a macro texting service, you should, because 98% of texts get read within 2 minutes. Let me repeat, 98% of texts get read within 2 minutes. So then you take that blog link and you text your clients, your members, the people whom you coach, life coaching, training, whatever, and now you text them the blog link of the educational article, the motivational article, the value-laden article, the solution-based article. Now it's in in their face. It's in their phone. So they're sitting while their car's getting washed, or they're at the field while little Johnny, little Mary, or even Betty is working out, and they're reading on the phone the blog, which was your email, so you can't miss them. That's part of the strategy that I use here, and I'm sharing with you today, because I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to make sure that the world finds you to do what you do. And don't forget, you ever notice on about 80% of my emails, I always have a PS. Why? Because you all read the PSs. People don't read all emails now. Keep them short, keep little micro headlines within the email, and have a PS if there's something. Notice many times if there's something I'm selling, because I only sell what I believe in and it works, kind of like the Get Your Mind Right book, Larry, on that, or the Get Your Mind Right mug, or the hoodie, or whatever else we got. We got some good stuff. It's typically in the PS. I don't want to sell. I want to share. I want to educate. I want to motivate and inspire in my body of my email. But in the PS, I want people to know what is available to them. So that's my philosophy on emails. And yes, they are still part of the arsenal of educating and developing a relationship. The purpose of emails is not to sell. The purpose is to deepen that relationship and to communicate with dozens or hundreds or thousands of people that you can in a very heartfelt way, so you can share wisdom, you can share inspiration, and people are attracted to your community because of what you and your team are providing to them.
Yeah, and you know what, Tia, on that, just as a close on the email, and the subject line is so important. I have a member of my team, when she writes an email, she actually sends the email to herself, and she doesn't look at it right away. Then she'll look at her email stack that comes in her inbox, and she'll look at the one she sent if it stands out, if it's personal enough.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I thought that was.
Let's go to number 3, the last and final one. 3 ways to grow your business.
Number 3, it takes a team. You know, it sounds like a trite mantra phrase, but especially now. I mean, look, here at Fitness Quest 10, when you had to do the virtual classes, the live stream classes, the on-demand classes, it wasn't just you and Melanie teaching. It was the whole team, or a good percentage of the team. So you have to rely on more than one person in order to keep your business model sustainable. If it's just you, okay, you could have your own business and you could have a coaching business and it's just you sitting at a desk. But if you're got a brick and mortar, which many people in Masterminders have, you got to have a team to help you. And I think right now there's some fitness centers, some studios, some gyms not opening back up. So I believe, in fact, a lot of people out in my team in the field have said people have approached them because they're looking for a place to work, or I have one gal, in fact, it's Esther McIntyre from Westlake. She subleases.
Love her.
She subleases. She's had people now who've gone out of business who now just want to sublease. They don't want to do their own thing anymore. They just want to sublease. So she's been able to do that, and that falls in with her business model. But in looking for teammates, I like this quote by one of my idols, Roger Staubach.
Roger.
Okay. Great teammates are like tea bags. They get stronger when things heat up.
Ooh.
Great teammates are like tea bags. They get stronger when things heat up.
He must have went to a good university.
He did. But, I kind of took that one out of the archives. But when you think about it, those are the type of folks that you want on the team. And especially now, look, you could look around over the past 4 months, all of us, and take a look at who stepped up and who has not in some cases. And those are the type of people that you want on the team. And I found that people who are leading out there, serving and leading, they are serving and leading their teams, and obviously in so doing, they are better serving their clientele, because of that. But the team right now is a key.
I like that.
Well, listen, I've always said, you know, people make a business, people grow a business, and the purpose of the people on your team, when you hire somebody, it's not to perform a job. You bring people onto your team because they are there to enhance and help you grow and spread your vision and your mission. That's what grows the business. So, what's the old cliche? You want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you need a team.
Yep, absolutely.
The doctor has spoken. That is absolutely correct. And as a matter of fact, that means you got to share your mission and vision. Because many leaders don't share the mission and the vision. Heck, let's just say this: a lot of leaders don't even know their mission and their vision. They it's like, what's next? And they're adapting. And right now, in this very tumultuous time that we're all in, I think it's very, very important right now to actually think about your dream, to think about your vision of where you're going. Because when you talk about marketing, you talk about email, you talk about it takes a team. It's like, hey, where are we going? And even if you don't know where you're going, it goes back to your purpose again of how are you serving and who are you serving. When you know that, then you rely on that team. And Frank and Larry are on my team. The other couple hundred folks who are on our mastermind team right now. So if you have a team in your community, if you have a team of trainers, coaches, a team of colleagues within your career in your industry, whatever industry you're in, I think you find 5 to 10 people on your team, and right now you form, we talk about, forming a fortress, you buttoning up the fortress and sharpening each other on up right now, whether it be spiritually, mentally, professionally, business, career. I ask you this question right now. BIW, to be the best in the world at what you do right now. I'm going to challenge each and every one of you listening in today on this Thursday morning. What are you doing right now? Right now in the next 6 months, what action steps are you taking to be the BIW, the best in the world at what you do in your studio, in your gym? As a matter of fact, let me go one step further. What are you going to do? What action steps can you say, hey, TD, guess what? I'm going to have a retreat. A live retreat, a virtual retreat for 2 hours every Saturday. We're going to have a virtual retreat for our community. We're going to have actually empowerment classes and sessions for our members or our clients starting on Labor Day for the rest of the fall, because Labor Day is a holiday on this. So what is it that you're going to do so that you could be the BIW, the best in the world at what you do, a la a little Robin Sharma right there, is right now I want you to think about that. Where do you put your mindset to say, no, on this roller coaster ride that we're at right now, how can I take the wisdom that Larry and Frank just shared about how do I improve my relationships, my value, my solution, the education, the accessibility? How can I improve my communication, whether it's on email, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on any other form of social media or texting or blogging? How are you going to improve that relationship? And ultimately, how can I rely on my team to strengthen myself up right now to make sure that my mind is right? My mind is in a place of that I'm going to be in growth mode. Matter of fact, there are great opportunities right now to be in growth mode because of what you create. If you're in react mode and you're just simply reacting to everything, good luck. You're gonna have some tough times if you're just reacting to the world right now, because we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. By the time you listen to this, the time it goes out, I don't know what's gonna happen, change. But I can tell you what, the growth mindset ain't gonna change. What you say right now is like, this is my vision, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to create, and this is what the team's going to create. This is our mission vision, because I am convinced and convicted to change the world and impact 10 million lives. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop more episodes on this podcast. We're going to create more values. I'm going to have Baby Z do more videos. Julie's going to be piping out content. We're going to change the world, whether there's a pandemic going on or what. Let me tell you what, we're convicted to do that, and you are going to benefit from that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I can't answer that question. The only thing you can do is get quiet time, start working out, and you can share with me, you can share with Frank, you can share with Larry, you can share with any other of my members in the mastermind. You can say, here's what I'm doing, TD. Here's how I'm impacting Canada. Here's how I'm impacting Brazil. Here's how I'm impacting Australia. Here's how I'm impacting Ireland, Spain. Here's how I'm impacting the U.S. Here's what I'm doing in my territory. Here's what I'm doing down in the Bahamas, Jimmy Mackey, as I open up. Here's what I'm doing, Anderson, who's tripling his space right now. Here's what I'm doing. What are you going to do? You can hear it, but I want to know the action steps you're going to do, because guess what? The best leaders right now are stepping up. The best leaders are taking it right now. They're taking it by the gazungas, I'll say. They're taking that jersey, and this is what they're going to do. They're going to say, right now I'm going to own this as hard as it gets, as bad as it's going to be. I'm telling you what, I'm going to own this. So I'm going off today on fire like I started this thing, because here's the bottom line. Larry and Frank are extremely intelligent guys, way smarter than me. But the bottom line, if you can take wisdom and you can take heart and you can take servanthood and you can put us together now, becomes lethal. So I want to challenge you to make sure you sharpen up your iron. Who are you hanging out with? What are you doing? Because the bottom line is this. The next 6 months is a choice. Are you getting better? Or are you getting worse? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode with Frank and Larry. Let me tell you what are you going to do? I got one thing you can do. Join my team. I would love for you to be part of the team. That's right. If you want more discussions like this on a daily basis, not just every now and then you're fired up. You want to get fired up a little bit more? Guess what? You can have this every single day of your life, because, hey, between myself, between the 5 platinum coaches, between the other couple hundred fire-breathing dragons, mind rate maniacs who are convicted that right now there's great opportunity, then the opportunity exists. Frank, what do you have to say to that?
Whew, you must be talking about the Todd Durkin Mastermind.
How did you know?
I could see it was written all over your face, exuding it. I would just simply say, listen, since 2007, the Todd Durkin Mastermind has coached and mentored some of the top fitness entrepreneurs, coaches, and inventors in the fitness industry. And our program specifically helps you to master yourself in the areas of personal development, business, leadership, marketing, and of course, coaching. If you'd like to learn more about our program, visit todddurkinmastermind.com to either enroll or to schedule a complimentary call with me. And I would simply remind you this. In order to grow, you need to be surrounded by great people. Who's on your team?
Woo-hoo, drop the mic. Frank Pucher, drop the mic. Larry, Frank, thanks for being here today.
Todd, always a pleasure. Always upgrades when I come into the sanctuary and spend some time.
Amen.
Hey, I was just going to say amen to that. Always enjoy spending time with two of my favorite guys. So looking forward to many years ahead.
Amen. Guys, I'd love to have you on my team. You know where to go. ToddDurkinMastermind.com. I can't wait to be on your team. We got some great stuff coming up in the last part of 2020. Get after it. Train hard, eat right, live inspired. Go create some impact today.